Greetings to my Wednesday ramblings, except it's early Thursday morning. And I'm uh, eventually, finally, reluctantly a victim of COVID. And as I couldn't sleep and I needed to do some work for the parish for first thing this morning, I decided to get up and do it. And so I've just completed that. And now I've got um, I thought I'd best do something about my Wednesday ramblings, giving you a bit of an insight into what I would have said if I were able to preach this weekend. At this particular stage, I will don't think I'll be celebrating masses because of COVID, so I'll need to find another way of being able to be part of the community this weekend. So this is an opportunity. The last 2 weekends, we've been talking about grace and truth and how they are not grace or truth, but grace and truth, and how Jesus is the sign of what grace and truth really mean. He's able to speak the grace and forgiveness to people, but he also speaks very strongly about truth. And for Jesus, that was his way of doing things, way of touching people's lives. Today's gospel reading, we hear the story of John the Baptist, who similarly is doing the same thing, speaking grace and truth into the world. But people are not accepting the truth that he speaks, especially the truth about Herod and his illicit marriage to his brother Philip's wife. We're told that John is in prison and is wondering whether it was all worthwhile. What's really happening? Is it ever going to make a difference? And so he sent his disciples to speak to Jesus and telling him, are you the one, or are we waiting for somebody else? And Jesus doesn't answer him. He simply looks at them and says, go back and tell John what you have seen. The blind are given their sight, the lame are restored to health, and the deaf hear. He's saying to John, the message is real, and I am the Messiah. Trust in me. And that's a pretty big challenge, because for most of us, trusting in something we can't really see is not that easy, but that becomes the essence of faith. Grace and truth remind us that God works in our world in a way that brings hope to others, brings healing into our communities. So my prayer this weekend is that you will hear this call to be people of grace and truth, that you'll be touched by the healing power of God, but also that you'll recognize that God is inviting you to a new truth, a truth that will lead you to eternal life. Stay well, keep safe, and I'll see you next time on my Wednesday ramblings.